In our last video, we looked at 7 reasons why your e-commerce store might not be converting. And one of those reasons in particular is because you might be using the default single product page layout that comes with WooCommerce. These generic product pages have boring layouts, the images are not highlighted, and there's no storytelling to really entice your customers to buy your products. In this tutorial video, I'm going to show you step by step how you can turn the generic single product page that comes with WooCommerce into a high converting single product page that is really going to make your customers want to click the buy button. For this video, we are going to be using Shopkit, which is our robust WooCommerce extension that comes when you purchase one of our Kadence plans. So let's dive on into my screen and I'm going to show you step by step how you can achieve this. Here we are on my WordPress website. WordPress has been set up. I've installed and activated WooCommerce and I've gone ahead and I've added in a single product item. This is just a sample single product item, given it a name, a very generic description, which you see around the internet quite a lot. I've added in some sizes, so different options from extra small to extra large. And then I've also added in some color options. As you can see, I've also only added in one image. So the first step in customizing the single product page is to install and activate the Kadence theme. Right now, what I've got is WooCommerce and the generic standard default theme that comes with WordPress. So we're going to come to our themes. Under Appearance, you'll find Themes, and we're going to activate the Kadence theme. I've already installed it, so all I need to do is click Activate. And as soon as you activate the Kadence theme and you refresh your product page, then you can see there's already changes that are happening. And that's because we have some customizations already built into our Kadence theme. So if you head to your customizer, so Appearance and then Customizer, you'll notice in the customizer now a WooCommerce section. And this enables you to then customize various different things from the store notice to the checkout and the single product pages. So if we go to the single product layout, we can customize it and show or hide the breadcrumbs. So if I click nothing, you'll see how on the right-hand side, the breadcrumbs go away. We can also change things such as the sidebars, the vertical spacing, and we can also show or hide various different product elements. So for example, at the moment, we don't have ratings on our single product item, and these are always good for a high converting page. So I can simply toggle this on and then it adds it back in on the right hand side. Another great one is your extras. So if I show this, then you'll see additional information appear under the Add to Cart button. And you can click this drop down and then you can simply go ahead and you can add in different features. So for example, here we've got satisfaction guaranteed, no hassle refunds, secure payments, etc. And if you want more features, you can add those in. I'm going to toggle this off and I am going to click publish, and then I'm going to go back to my product and I'm going to start customizing it. So to customize this single product page, we are going to be using Shopkit, and Shopkit comes with our ultimate plan. So you will need to upgrade in order to get Shopkit. Once you've purchased the ultimate plan, you can just head to your account and you can download the Shopkit plugin. It's pretty simple. You can download that onto your desktop and then it's just a case of installing that. So we're going to go ahead and we are going to install that plugin. So we're going to come to plugins, we're going to click add plugin, and then we are going to upload our Shopkit plugin and click install now, and then we are going to activate it. Now, once we activate the plugin, we are going to see it on the left-hand side. So we'll now see it on the left-hand side, Shopkit, and it will bring up everything that you can customize. So you can customize your product gallery, you can create templates, you can customize your variations and your product features, and then also cart and checkout. Now, the main things that we are going to be looking at in this specific tutorial video is your gallery, your templates, your swatches, and your options. We are going to have further tutorial videos down the line where we look at the other product features and cart and checkout. So be sure to subscribe to our channel to get notifications of when we bring out those videos. One of the things of a high converting single product page is imagery. The imagery is really something that's going to draw people in. Then they're going to maybe read the description. But right now, all I have is one single image, and it's only of the one color. However, we do have 4 different colors. So the first thing we want to do is upload some new images. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to upload those images. So I've gone ahead and I have added in some additional images. So I've added in a gray shirt, I've added in another white one, and I've also done a little detail of another color. I can of course go ahead and add way more images, but I'm just going to keep these 4 for now. So this is kind of the default layout of your single product page. And I think there's so many different ways that you can lay out images to really make it more enticing for people to purchase your product. So we're going to head back to Shopkit, and the first thing that we are going to be looking at is our product gallery. Now, if we toggle on enable product slider gallery, this will then change the WooCommerce product image and gallery into a slider. And you get given 7 different options here of gallery types that you can choose from. You can also decide whether you want on tablet something different and on mobile something even more different. So you've got that option of having a different gallery slider depending on what device someone is looking at your shop on. We can simply click on this one and then it will kind of put them all below each other. I can also enable custom sizing for the gallery images. So if I wanted to toggle that on and the product image width had to be a certain width, we can obviously set that there. We can also do product image ratio. And if we go back to our t-shirt shop, I think it's a good idea for us to do that, because right now I've got a square image, then I have a landscape image, and then I've got a portrait image, and I feel like it just jumps around quite a lot. So I'm going to make sure that the product image ratio is cropped to a 1:1 sizing. And I'm just going to increase this slightly to maybe about 600 in width. We can also change the slider transition to slide or fade. At the moment, ours is just going to be one beneath the other, so that's fine. We can also enable the product image hover zoom. That means when we hover over it, there will be a little kind of icon that enables you to zoom in on the product, and you can magnify the window either beside the image or on top of the image. So let's click save and go back to our product and refresh this product. And now once we refresh the product, we'll see that our gallery has changed. And now the gallery looks like this, which I think is pretty amazing. So that's a great start. So images really capture someone's attention, and all you need to do is simply toggle on enable product slider gallery, and that automatically changes it. Now, before we move on to looking at product templates and creating a whole different layout for our product single page, I'm going to show you the product variations. So if we're looking at our t-shirt, what we have is a sizing option and a color option. And we would really like it if we had those little squares instead of having, this drop down. Okay, so if we have the little color options, I think that would really entice people more to buy the product. So we're going to come to Shopkit and we are going to go to variation swatches. And we're going to enable the swatch control with variations, and that's then going to display either images or colors for variation choices. So once we toggle this on, we have various different options, and for now I'm just going to toggle it on and click Save Settings. So I'm going to leave everything as is, and then I'm going to refresh my page so you can see what it looks like. So I've done that, but now the size also has that toggle option, and I don't quite like that. So I'm going to go to Edit Product, and I'm going to edit my product in a new page. And because we have toggled this on in Shopkit, we can come here to the bottom. You'll see now variation swatches. So you'll click on variation swatches, and under size, we actually want to change the style to just drop down. We want to keep that as drop down. We don't want it to be, have all these little squares. We rather just keep that as a drop down. But the color, we want to keep it as the little squares. So then the preview, we can change. We can either choose that to be a color or a hex color, or we can change that to be an image. So if I click on this, I can see now the attribute can be a color or an image. So I can click here and then I can choose either color or image. So let's say for this example, because that's the black one, I am going to choose color. But for the white one, we can choose image. And then all we need to do is go ahead and upload an image. So at the moment that's a placeholder. So I'll click upload or add image. And I specifically want this image, and I can click select. I can go ahead and then I can do the same for my navy color, and I can do the same for heather gray. I'm just going to choose any gray color like that. Let's make this a more darker kind of navy. There we go. So now I'm going to update my product and refresh on the front end, and you'll see how my variations change on the front end. So now it's a bit more visually appealing. And so someone clicks on this, we can see that's the black one. We can see it's the white, the blue, and the gray color. Now let's go back to Shopkit and look at our variation options. So we have options where we can set where the variation label displays. So it's either above the variation or hidden or default. So we've got here color, and I think it's really good for us to just keep this as is. Then we can choose a default swatch type. So we can set that to image and color or drop down or radio boxes, whatever it is. But then again, I did show you in the single product page, we can change that default swatch type. We can choose a default swatch label option. So whether there's no label, if we show it below or we show it on hover, then if we refresh our page, we will see that on the front end. So the color will appear below. And, you know, maybe not, if you have different colors of gray, it may be a good idea for you to actually put those details below. You can also choose the swatch size options. So at the moment it's set to extra large. You can also do 4 times or extra small. And then the drop down, choose an option. So this would go in here. And if you wanted to change that, you can do so. If you wanted to enable swatches for your archives. So if you look on your shop page at the moment, so this is our shop page. We can't see that it has different options apart from when we hover over it, we see it says select options. If we go to Shopkit and we enable the swatches for archives, then we can set the swatch mode. So whether it's normal or catalog mode. We can also do the position of it and the label display. So if I click save settings now, refresh my shop page, then you will see the swatches appear on this page here. So you can also do the choose option for your sizing. And so someone can go ahead, click on that, and they can add it to their cart instead of them having to actually go into the single product page. Okay, so we've looked at the gallery and the swatches, and you can see already that when we use the gallery and the swatches, it already made a lot of change to our single product page. It really elevated it, made it more enticing for our customers. But let's take it one step further and use the product templates to create a whole different layout for our single product page. So we're going to come to product templates here. And when you enable this, you can create custom product templates. So all we do is we toggle this on. Once we click save settings, we can now look on the left-hand side, and what we'll see is Woo templates. If you don't see Woo templates there, just refresh your page and then it will appear on the left-hand side. So what we're going to do now is we're going to click add new Woo templates, and we are creating a single product template. So we're going to choose the template type. The template type is single product. And with Kadence, you get pre-built template selects. So there are 4 different options. You can start with the template and rehash it to how you want it to look, or you can start with a blank. And I'm actually going to start with a blank and really walk you through step by step how you can create your own layout. So the first step is to actually give it a name. So I'm going to call it single product layout. Then I'm just going to publish this. Now, once I publish this, you might think that the product will actually change. But look, if I refresh this page, it still stays the same. And that's because we haven't assigned the template to our single product page. So we're going to go back to our single product layout templates. We're going to come up to the top here and go to template settings. And under the display settings, we are going to show this on a single product, and we're going to select by all products. Now, if you want to, you can create many different layouts for your products, and you can assign it to the specific product by clicking here and then going individually and then selecting the specific product you want it to show on. So you can create different layouts and make your store a little more dynamic. The next thing you want to do is go to user settings, and then you'll click all users. And now when I click save and I refresh my t-shirt single product page, you'll see now it is a blank slate. So let's go ahead and let's start adding to our single product layout. So I'm going to be using blocks. The first thing I'm going to do is add in a row, and I'm going to make it full width and then use the template content inner width. And I am going to add in 2 columns because I'm going to put my images on the left-hand side and I'm going to put my content on the right. And the first thing I want to do is actually add in breadcrumbs. So I'm going to click add block and I'm going to type in breadcrumbs, and you'll notice product breadcrumbs. So another thing I want to show you is in the block inserter, you have all these different Woo template blocks, and these come with Shopkit. So this is all the information that you can add to your single product page. So now I've added this in, I can go ahead and customize this by coming to the right-hand side. I can set the alignment. I can also set the style of it. And the one thing I do want to do is just change the font size to something maybe quite small, like 12 or 14 pixels. I can also change the spacing, I can change font family and various other things. Another thing I might want to do is just go with something a little bit lighter. Now, after the breadcrumbs, I do want to then add in the gallery. So I'm going to click add after, and I am going to type in gallery, and it is the product gallery that I want to add in. And you can see that it pops up and populates with one of my products images. And this is inherent from us toggling on the gallery and the one that we chose earlier in our video. But if we wanted to, we can always come here to the right-hand side and choose something a bit different. So if we wanted our thumbnails to the right, we could always do that. We could do standard, we can do a list, and we can do tiles or no thumbnails at all. I'm going to keep it to the list because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do in a moment. But the grid, I want to remove the spacing between it. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. I might want to do one thing is just come to my row layout and just make this a tad bit bigger. Now, these are probably set to 600 pixels in our Shopkit, so I may have to amend that then, which is something we did earlier, and I'll show you in a moment how to make those a bit bigger. Another thing I just want to do is look at the spacing settings here and just create some spacing at the bottom here. So let's create it as maybe 10 pixels is enough. Now, the first thing we want to do is add in our title of our product. So we can come here to the inserter and we can add in the product title. So let's add in the product title. We do also want ratings. Ratings are really good. So that's the next thing we want to do. So let me find the ratings. So here's our product ratings. We'll add that in there. After the product ratings, we definitely want the price. So there's our price. And then we want to add in the description. So we've got a short description and a long description. So I'm going to add in the short description here. And then the next thing we're going to do is add in maybe the add to cart. So once we do the add to cart, we can pop that in there. That will then bring up the sizing and the colors. So let's have a save and then let's have a look what our single product page looks like now. So this is what it looks like. I mean, it's very similar to what we had before, but we can change this up a little bit. So the first thing I do want to do is I love these images on the left-hand side, but I find that they kind of get lost once I scroll and this information on the right gets lost. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to highlight the row, come to the document overview and go to our section, which is on the right, go to advanced tab, and we're going to set some sticky settings. So let's set the sticky settings and an offset of about maybe 20 should be good. So once I click save, I refresh this page. And now once I scroll, it kind of sticks there. And I really like that because I can see my images, but I can still see this information and add something to the cart. Now, one thing I have noticed is that the images are not going all the way to the end of my section. So what we did earlier in Kadence Shopkit, under the product gallery was set the image width. And what we need to do is probably just make that a little bit bigger. And then once we've made it bigger, we can refresh our page and those images will be much bigger. Otherwise, we do need to upload bigger images. So that's looking pretty cool. We can now see maybe we need some spacing in between that, and we can add in some more content. Now, one other thing we might want to do is add in some more information below all the content that we have at the moment. And I'd like to add the full description of the product and also the delivery and the returns. So what we're going to use in this case, we're going to add our block insert and we're going to add in a Kadence accordion. So we're going to find the accordion, we're going to drag and we're going to put it here. We're going to choose this initial style. You can choose whatever you want. And of course you can come to the right hand side and style the pane title and the background, etc. So under the title, I'm going to write in description, and then the next one I'm going to do delivery and returns. Then under the description, I'm going to drag in the full product description. So I'm going to type in description under our inserter, and we're going to drag in this product description and pop it in there. This is quite big, so we might want to style this and change the font sizing to something like 14. And then in the delivery returns, we can just add in a text block and then add in some content for our delivery and returns. So we'll make this a paragraph and then add in this content and then also change this to 14 pixels. One other thing I just wanted to do to make this look a little bit better is go to the accordion and give it some spacing between each of those. So once I click save now, I can go to my product and I can click refresh. So I've clicked refresh. We can now see the description here underneath, and I can also see the delivery and returns. So this is quite a long description, but someone can still get the full details of the product and then also what the delivery and returns are. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spend a little bit of time just moving things around here and customizing it to exactly what I want. Now I can use any of the Kadence blocks on this page. I can also use any of the Shopkit. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, so I have gone ahead, I've made a couple of tweaks, nothing major. Because I have the description down below, I wanted this section on the right-hand side to be as free of description, and people know exactly that it's a t-shirt, it's 29 Rand, you know, they've got the customer reviews, and then they can just quickly choose small and black, and then they can add it to their cart. If they want to, they can read the description, and if we want, we can toggle that open to start with. So now we've got that all sorted. The next step in the process is to maybe bring in our reviews down below, and then any other products that also relate to this specific product. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add in the reviews. So underneath this specific section, we're going to add in a new row, and that row is going to be a full width one that we're going to give it a little bit of a background. So under the style tab, we are then going to change the background color to something a bit darker, and we are going to set the theme content in a width to toggle that on. We're then going to give it a title. So let's add in some text, and that can be an H2. So we can write in what our customers say about this product. And then under that, I want to add in the reviews, and let's just center align this. So I'm going to click enter, and then I'm going to look for the reviews. So we've got product reviews, and we'll just click on that. That then adds in the reviews. If there's any reviews, they will pop up, and I can choose whether the layout is a single column or 2 column, and then I can also set the spacing. So just above, I want to add in some spacing, and we've got our spacing around our row already. So we can click save. Once we click save, we can now see the reviews down below. So let's just refresh that. And once we scroll, we do have our reviews, and we've already got a couple of reviews already on this product, and someone can add in a review here. Now, the last thing that we're going to do is add in some related products, which then makes it, if someone does like this product, they can always choose another product to go with it. So we're going to add another row underneath, and we are going to make that full width and use the content inner width again. And we're going to add in related products. So we're going to click on related. Once we choose related, it's going to pick up the other products that we do have. We're going to remove the heading above, and we're actually going to add in our own one. So we're going to click add before. We're going to do text, and then we're going to write in, you might also like these products. I'm also going to center align this one, and I'm going to give this some spacing above, so 40 pixels. We can also go in and we can amend this. So if you go into the customizer, you will be able to change the look of this. So let's save this, and I'll show you how to do that in the customizer. So let's refresh this, and we'll now see our related products down at the bottom underneath, which says you might also like these products. Now, just going back, we have added in related products. Another thing that you can add in is our upsells. So all you need to do is add in the product upsells. So we've got our product related, which is what we've already used. We can also do our product upsells. So I can just click and drag that in there. And if we've added any upsells to our product, so we can again remove the title. If I click save and I refresh that page, so this is my t-shirt. If I wanted to upsell it with specific items, then I would need to probably go into my single product page and go into our upsells. So if we go into linked products, upsells, I can choose, I think I have another product called t-shirt. So I'm going to add in everyday comfort tee and just click update. Once I update that, then you will see the upsells down below underneath the product. So there we go. So we've got, these are related products and these are upsells. So now one thing I do want to show you is this is the layout that is coming from your customizer. So you can come into your customizer. I'm going to open that in a new tab just so I can refresh the page and then show you exactly what it looks like. So once the customizer loads, we're going back into the WooCommerce section that we chatted about before. So in this WooCommerce section, now I'm going to scroll down just so you can see this happening on the front end. When we look at the product catalog, it's probably going to switch and change things and show you the shop page. But if we wanted to, we can always change the content style. So unbox that and you can see how it goes away. We can also change how this kind of slides up. So product image hovers switch. So if there are more than kind of one image, we can say slide. So if I click slide, it should be able to then slide through the images. And if you've got button action style, we can do button slide up or always visible. Once we click that, you'll see that it already shows add to cart. So it doesn't have that kind of slide option. And then button style, we can click button and also have the option to align the button at the bottom. Now the button obviously comes from your Kadence customizer. So if I click publish, we go back to our t-shirt and we look at our related items and our upsells as well. Then you'll see how, scroll down, this has changed now on the front end. So if you're looking and you're wondering how exactly do you change this, this is exactly how you do that there. So I'm going to add one or two more products just to this bottom section so you can see what it looks like with a few more products. So there you go. You can see some of the other products that someone might like, and they'd be able to then go ahead and add it to the cart. And we can also create some more spacing between that. Now, the last thing I want to show you in a high converting single product page is how it looks on a mobile device. Now, this is super important to look at. There are many tools online. One that I highly recommend you check out is Responsively. It's a free tool that you can use to check out exactly what your website looks like on mobile and tablet devices. But if we look at our template and we scroll up to the top, we kind of select our row layout. You can now see these options in Kadence where you've got desktop, you've got tablet, and you have mobile, so you can adjust things to how you want them to look on various different devices. So if you're looking at this one, for example, we may want to add the image at the top and then the content down below. You may also want to change the sizing of your text here. So we can change that sizing and amend the layout to what we want it to look like, whether that's a tablet or a mobile device. And that is a super important thing that you do ensure that you look at when you are creating your products and your single product pages. So that's how you take the default generic single product page from WooCommerce and turn it into a page that's going to make your browsers want to buy your products. Now, I encourage you to check out our Ultimate Plan. When you purchase our Ultimate Plan, you'll get access to Shopkit and you'll be able to use it to create high converting single product pages like we did in this tutorial video. If you liked this tutorial video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and drop any of your comments below and let us know what you love about Shopkit, or if there's any other tutorials you'd like to see us make around Shopkit. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel, because in the next video, we are going to be teaching you how to simplify your checkout process in order to boost your sales on your e-commerce store.